All praises to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. And in this video, I want to talk about this whole supposed black fatigue term that keeps flying around in this earth now, right? And if you're a person that comes across this video and you supposedly believe in black fatigue and all of this, right? Well, these questions that I'm going to put out there are for people like you, because I want to know how long it took you, all of you people that claim that you have this black fatigue. How long did it take you to have this black fatigue, right? How long did it take you to get this, right? Was it before the lockdown? Was it after the lockdowns, right? Was it before you drained out all of these people's finances and stole them from where they actually were, from where they was, and brought them to your countries and made them build up your countries? Did you have black fatigue then? Did you have black fatigue when you was R-wording these people's children, R-wording the men, a term that you called book breaking, which is really just RAPE of men, right? Don't try and put no fancy word on it to take away from what it was. You was beating men up so that they was defenseless, right? And then you was sleeping with them by force, making them take part in the receiving end of a LGBT act. That's what was actually happening. Trying to use fancy words, no. Let's speak about what it actually was and the grossness of what you actually did. Did you have black fatigue then? Right? How long did it take you people to get this supposed black fatigue, right? Did it take you, was it when they was building up hip hop, building up all these industries that they was the root of, but was bringing entertainment to your people? Did you have black fatigue when you was watching black men dunking, playing basketball and sports, when you was listening to Michael Jackson, when you was listening to Prince? Did you have black fatigue then? Did you have black fatigue when you were subscribing to people like Kevin Samuels, Fresh and Fit podcast, and having them give you lame ass demons advice on how to get women when it's your kingdom? Did you have black fatigue then? Like, when is it that you got this supposed black fatigue, man? How long did it take you to get this black fatigue? Because whatever answer you give, right? Okay, well, how long have we been putting up with you? And when would you think it in your eyes that it's okay for us to have Edomite fatigue from you then now? When would it be a chance for now for us to have fatigue of you? Now, we already know, and I'll not even say we, I'll say me, I already know that this whole thing is a projection from you Edomites to try and put onto us what the world's really experiencing with you. But when is it that we can have fatigue of you? You're talking about you've got fatigue of us. Oh, I've had enough of this. The fatigue's real and all of that. Okay. When is it that you would feel that it's okay for us to have fatigue against you then? Because if you say we've had fatigue for the last 10 years, okay, well, in the whole Atlantic slave trade, which lasted a hell of a lot longer than 10 years, when we was trying to flee slavery, you were saying that we had a mental disease called drapetomania. Don't play games. So when were we allowed to have fatigue, man? When would you think that other people are allowed to have fatigue of you? When you go around the whole earth destroying everyone's countries and then complaining when they come over to the only places in the world that are free from having to go through the stuff that go on in other places. There's some places in the world where it's just understood and people have normalized that weapons fall from the sky and produce fire when they land. That's became normalized in some parts of the earth, whereas that's not normalized in any random city in London. That's not normalized in any random city or state in America. That's not normalized in Spain. That's not normalized really in many places in Europe or in the so-called West, right? It's not normalized in Asia, right? That's not normalized in China, but there's certain parts of the so-called Middle East where that's normalized, where people are like, oh yeah, they're doing that again. Oh, it's horrible that, but they kind of like, yeah, just expect that to happen. And who's at the root of it? You lot. So when is it that the world can have fatigue against you? When is it that they can be justified in your eyes that they can have fatigue since you've got fatigue? Because if you say we've had fatigue for the last 50 years, we should have never brought them over here. Okay. There comes a time in life where a man should have picked his own cotton. And you ease are going to experience that. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 1, the vision of Obadiah does say if Yahweh concerning Edom, and that's talking about you. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. It's not the world. The world don't really have fatigue on us. If the world was to write down all their problems, right? If everyone on this earth, I'm certain of this, if everyone on this earth was to write down their problems and what's grieving them in this world, right? They was to write it down and put it on paper. And then there was to say, okay, who's the cause of this problem? The main people that would have a reason to be making out like so-called black people are the problems of their that are causing them. The main people that would actually be able to point out that their problems that they have in the world are caused by black people would be black people. It wouldn't be the Chinese. The Chinese wouldn't be able to just say that all the things that they've got agreements with in the world are caused because of us. White people wouldn't be able to say, so-called white people wouldn't be able to say that it's us that's the cause of all their problems. Oh, I can't get a job, mate. I can't get a this, mate. I can't get a that, mate. Okay, and how are black people stopping you from having that? They're taking the jobs, mate, ain't it? Well, that man that you're saying, these race of people that you're saying are taking all the jobs, they don't have the job that you want to get into in the industry. So they know they're not taking your job, mate. You're lying. You're making it up, geezer. You're making things up in your head. You've got this imaginary oppression that you're facing, and you're making it up. And I've been hearing stories about this recent demon that dropped, right? This recent CK, that he was making up things in his head about why he didn't get into some college, man. Making up some imaginary so-called black person that stole his place on the campus and that, making things up in his head, man. He couldn't prove that. He's just making things up in his head. And that's what you ease are about. You make things up. Like even after that guy got slumped, right? They're talking about it as if somebody other than themselves did it, because they make things up in their head. They're just making things up in their head, man. And that's why you Jakes should have never voted. Because you voted for and got into all this whole left-right BS, they can add you into that. Because if you voted for what would be considered the so-called left, then technically you are that side. Technically, right? But then all you people on the so-called right, you ain't exempt because you voted as well. So if some people from the left now have got agreements to people on the right, and you're Jake that's wanted to vote on some right thing, you're in that too. And now you've got yourself in caught in the midst of a problem that's not even nothing to do with you. It's nothing to do with you. That's their thing, man. And you should have left them to it. Verse 2 again, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. And it's them that's really the one that's hated by this whole earth, man. The only reason, and I'm going to say, like I've been saying it, man, the only reason people talk with you is for finances, right? If you find yourself ever in this earth in a position where you can't give people jobs, you don't have the ability to make people rich, you don't run the industries, you don't have access to the resources, nobody would talk to you. They wouldn't want it. They'd ignore you. If all the resources that you Edomites currently find yourselves in possession of was to be split evenly or unevenly among the other nations, and now you have zero access to any of that, like the position that so-called black people, Latinos, and Native Americans have found themselves in, no one's going to talk to you. What are they going to talk to you about? You're weird anyway. You're not likable. You're not funny. But they laugh at your dumb jokes and all your weird humor, or your weird smelling farts kind of humor that you do. Ah ha ha! I farted in his face. Ha 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 ha! Isn't it so funny? Ha ha! I farted when he turned around. I farted in his nose. Ha ha ha! I farted on his pillow. Ha ha ha! Isn't that so funny? I drew a penis on his face while he was sleeping. Ha ha ha! You got me there, mate. Ha ha ha! He got drunk, and I chained him to a lamppost for a stag do. Oh man, ain't we funny? Ain't we funny, guys? We're crazy, mate. Ha ha ha. Crack on, Basil. You people are dumb. Mate, people ain't gonna want to deal with none of that. People ain't gonna wouldn't pretend that they're down with LGBT as much as LG, free T, HIJK, alphabeting and rainbowing as much as you are, because all these other nations, they're wicked as well. But they ain't down with that stuff nowhere near as much as you are. All these Jakes that you are able to get to sell out and do weird stuff to get a record deal, they wouldn't do that no more. They wouldn't have to do it no more. They'd be free to explore the art of making music openly, right? They wouldn't have no need to get no baby oil to get a record deal. They wouldn't have no need to make nobody else have to do anything weird with baby oil for them to get a record deal, man. And that continual musical industry trauma that gets passed around of baby oil here and baby oil there, baby oil enough the Richter scale, that wouldn't need to go on. People wouldn't care for what y'all are talking about, man. And you ease are gonna find out the hard way, right? That you're not who you thought you was. You're not. You're talking all this like you're gonna just come up against the children of Israel, the real children of Israel, not the fake ones, the real ones. You're talking all this like you're gonna come up against us, and it's just gonna be such easy work. You've got everyone that's on this earth as your enemy. So while you're gonna be trying to attack the children of Israel in the land of Babylon, the great, right? While you're doing that, and you are gonna do it, you are gonna get the chance to do it. But while you're gonna be doing that, all the other nations outside of Babylon the Great are going to be like, okay, he's busy. Let's really get charged up now, get the weapons of war ready, because we're going to rise up against these people. They're too busy here now. So now we've got the chance and got some free time available to do all the moves that we need to do business-wise to push them out. And then we're going to build up and we're going to be done with these guys. But y'all don't understand that, man. Now, let's get back to this black fatigue thing. All this talk of this black fatigue that y'all claim to have, right? How long you had it, man? Because however long you say that we've been doing something to you, you've been doing things to us a lot longer. You've been doing things to us a lot longer than you can ever say that we've been doing anything to you. You had a whole 2 centuries unanswered of being able to do whatever you wanted to do to us. And when I think back on what that time must have been like, and all the dark spells that you freaks would have been doing in that time, man, on them poor innocent people, man, which I say poor and innocent, but really they weren't poor and innocent, because that was a punishment that we deserved for how wicked we were. And if we deserved that punishment for what we did, then what are you going to deserve for what you've did? Right? Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 12, for thus saith Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunk. And we drank, right? We caught all kind of hell. We've drank of it, right? For they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken, and art thou he that shall go altogether unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. For I have sworn by myself, saith Yahweh, that Bozrah shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. So all this fatigue, get rid of him out, mate, get him out, mate, and all this, mate, it's going to be you that's going to be got out, mate. It ends with you not being on the earth anywhere. It ends with your cities. Like these people you got all these YouTubers that try and go around on the internet. Oh, visiting London's worst hood, visiting New York's most ghetto area. And it's really an attempt to make black people look dysfunctional. But these same people that are doing that, go and have a visit, go visit the Whitakers in the land of America then, and you'll see Edomites barking like dogs. Don't try and come at us sideways. Because the reason why them places are dysfunctional, it ain't got nothing to do with skin color. It's to do with the place is poor. But then here's the thing, man, we'll accept anything that y'all want to try and say. If the reason why we commit crimes is because we're black, right? Okay, what's the reason why you commit crimes then? If the reason why we do all the things that we do wrong is because we're so-called black, and it's inherited, mate. They're just in them, mate. It's just in them. That's that black thug gene in them. Okay, let's pretend that's true. What's the reason why you commit all the crimes you commit then? If we're violent, right? Okay, and we like to shoot and all these things that y'all like to claim, okay, but who made the guns? Surely the person that made the guns is more violent, right? Surely the person that made the nuclear bomb is more violent, right? Surely the person that made, or the group of people that made the fighter jet is more violent, right? Since y'all don't want to accept and acknowledge that anybody else helped you do anything in your society, you did it all then. So what's the reason for what you do? If the reason for what we do, everything that we do wrong, is because we're black, as you all like to say, what's the reason why you do your crimes then? Is it because you're the Edomites and you're naturally wicked? Is that the reason why? Is that the reason? Because that's what I'm saying. But what are you saying though? You've diagnosed us, right? You think you've diagnosed us. But what's the reason why you do everything that you do though? Have you diagnosed yourself? You've managed to notice the mote in our eye, but have you noticed the beam in your eye? You Edomites are so busy studying and watching the so-called black man, the so-called Latino man, the Native American man. You're so busy looking outward that you haven't even managed to realize your own house is on fire. You're steady watching us, watching everyone else and judging, trying to judge the stats, coming with statistics, psychological references, and all this stuff. But you haven't managed to do the psychological reference of your own people and why you're like how you are now. We already know as Israelites that you actually did study your own people first. You studied your own people first and you realize that they're dumb, and that if you can harness and make them hate everyone else more than they hate each other, then they can have a power with that. We actually know that the elites of you, that's what they've actually did. But the average Edomite don't know a damn thing, really. They actually really believe that every single black person's a criminal. Yet when they go outside and they look, they don't see every single black person that they see committing a crime. And if they say they do, they're a liar. They assume that every single black person they meet might be committing a crime, but they don't see every single black person that they meet committing a crime. They assume that they are going to. And whenever they see one not committing a crime, they think, oh, he must have committed his crime for the day. He probably commit a crime later or tomorrow. But then when they see their own people that are committing crimes, they don't think, oh, that rumor about them committing all the crimes obviously ain't true then, because this guy is clearly a so-called white man and he's committing a crime. They think, oh, that's just one random case. No, y'all commit crimes in general. Y'all want to talk all this impulse control stuff, right? But y'all are the main crash outs on this earth, man. The main people that go to schools and that they're a member of the school and just go around unaliving people, that's you. That's a clear sign of no impulse control, man. Unless y'all gonna try and justify it. Oh, but they was being bullied. They was being bullied and they just couldn't take it. Okay. Haven't so-called white people been bullying so-called black people for 400 plus years? Oh, you don't think that the Atlantic slave trade was bullying? Oh, you don't think that? Okay. That's very convenient though, isn't it? So back to the black fatigue thing again. If y'all have had black fatigue, when you've got black fatigue, right? How long you had it? How long you had this black fatigue? 50 years? You're not even 50. 20 years? 10, 30, 5 years? Like how long you had it, man? Because however long you say that you had that, we've been putting up with BS from you for a hell of a lot longer. So are we now justified in having Edomite fatigue? And whatever you think you're allowed to do based on having so-called black fatigue, is anybody that has Edomite fatigue now allowed to do the same against Edomites? Because we already know what you think you're allowed to do based on having supposed black fatigue. We already know what you think you should be able to do. But then are the people that have Edomite fatigue in your mind allowed to do the same thing? Or would that be them being a savage? And that's the hypocrisy of you people that you're never going to understand until you find yourself in the same position you planned on putting others. Jeremiah chapter 13 and verse 23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. And that's you lot. You're made to do evil. You run around talking all this Christ is King stuff. Mate, pull a precept then, man. Pull a precept. Use the Bible when to point to guide your society. Do you do that? No. Or do you in December when it comes round, are y'all gonna be celebrating Christmas? That ain't in the Bible. Celebrating your birthday ain't in the Bible. Y'all are gonna do that. Easter ain't in the Bible. How you think going on some Easter egg hunt, running around for chocolate eggs? That ain't in the. October's coming up, right? Y'all are gonna be celebrating Halloween. Where's that in the Bible? Where's that, man? Y'all have got a whole bunch of your own. Y'all people are making documentaries for women that go around sleeping with 1,000 men in one day, and you're putting it out there for the women of your nation to see. But then you want to talk about how other women are oppressed because they're wearing a head wrap, a head covering, or something covering their face. But then your women are free, and look what they're doing, being absolute harlots, man. Would you want your daughters to be like that? Some of you probably would. But then you talking all this like everyone else is a savage, but look at how you live, man. Look at you. Take the beam out your own eye, right? You got all these studies and ways to diagnose what's going on in every other community. The reason why I blame the fathers are not around. That's why they're doing it, and it's hip hop music. Okay, if that's the reason why you say we do what we do, okay, what's the reason why you do what you do then? Because you've got your father around, supposedly, right? Okay, what's the reason why you're wicked then? Oh, but I've got black fatigue. That's why I did what I did. Okay. The reason why those people in the hood are doing what they're doing then is because they've got Edomite fatigue. Oh, nah, that's not true. They're just violent. Okay. Why they're violent? Because they just are. Okay, so why are you violent then? I'm not violent. This is self-defense, mate. I have to do this. Oh. So you've just always got an excuse for when you do something wrong. But then when we do something wrong, we're not allowed an excuse. Oh, I see. So you're a hypocrite then. Right? So you're a hypocrite. And that's what it is with them. Right? That's all it is. That's all it's ever gonna be until Obadiah 1 and 18. That's all it's ever gonna be with these lot. Job chapter 20 and verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? And you hypocrites, joy is going to only be for a moment. That time period where you get to say peace and safety is going to be a short time. You'll be lucky if it's even a few months, man. You'll be even more lucky if you even get 6 months of believing that you're in peace and safety. We finally got that kingdom we wanted. They're all MOT bead, right? We done the elect over. They're all scurried off. They're hiding in the woods and that. We've got a few troops going out searching for them geezers. We got them all sorted, mate. We was able to Phoenix, like, mate, y'all ain't gonna y'all don't have a clue, man. It's actually funny watching you like fall apart, man. It's actually funny, but it's gonna be even funnier when America is gone away by your own hand. It's gonna be E on E violence that's gonna cause for America to be destroyed, man. Nero wasn't lying when he said you're playing around with World War III. He said it. He said you're playing around with World War III, but then he got warned and he got told, listen, man, you don't feel it now, but eventually you're gonna feel the influence. And what did Nero say? He said, don't tell me what I'm gonna feel. You ain't holding the cards. We're gonna feel very good. We're gonna feel very strong. He got warned, man. He gave his warning, right? And he also received a warning too. But it seemed like he didn't take his warning. But we're gonna see, man. Like you Idumans are gonna you're really playing around with some stuff that you're not ready for, you know. You're doing too much all at once. You're doing too many things all in one go, and you're making mistake after mistake after mistake. You thought you had more power than you actually got, man. Your only power has ever always been in the sword, right? You've never really had any power anywhere else. You've never had any power anywhere else. It's always been the sword, no matter what. You went whenever you thought you was intelligent, IQ this, IQ that. No, that was just the sword. People believed all that IQ BS that you spoke because you had the sword, bless it. People believed all the philosophies and the way that you said that the earth should be designed, and believed the way how marriages should be done because of the sword. It wasn't because it was a good idea. It was because of the threat of the sword every single time. When it came to people wanting to think that wearing a suit and tie is business attire, it wasn't because that really is the best way to dress in regards to business. It's because of the threat of the sword. That's the reason why they all bow down and believe what you say, because they were scared of the violence that you people do, because they know that you're the most violent people on the earth, the most passive aggressive, and the most direct aggressive people on the earth, man. That stick your nose where it's not wanted all the time, and then when you get called out for it, play the victim and deflect, try and deflect the judgment onto somebody else. Normally, the Negro, Latino, Native American. That's normally how it goes, man. All right, that's normally where it goes. And I just wanted to do a video on this so-called black fatigue thing, man, because it's a whole bunch of BS, man. It's not real, right? You're claiming that, but for all the people that claim that they've got it okay, how long have you had it? Because I'm pretty sure you've been doing things to people on this earth a hell of a lot longer than that. So then do they have the right to have fatigue against you? And these are the questions that you're not prepared to ask. These are the questions that you're not prepared to even think to yourself, man. Or you're hoping that, or you have thought about it, but you're hoping that nobody calls you out on the BS, man. But like the scriptures say, we were made to reprove your thoughts, man. We was made to question everything that you people say. And we're gonna do it. We ain't just gonna let you tell us things and not ask any questions. We're gonna ask some questions, man. And on that, I'm gonna say shalom to the elected nation of Israel. People that ain't gonna believe, who are the people that ain't gonna believe the lies and the BS that this nation speaking and spewing out of their envy against the children of Israel, man. Shalom.